Welcome to the No Plan B podcast. My name is René Weimann, and with me today, as always, my partner Joe Asbury, and we got a premiere this week. We got our first coach on the show, brand new. Joe, please introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's more than just a great coach. He's done a lot for youth basketball here in Germany. And normally I don't like to toot my own horn, but today I'm going to. We have our guy, Geno Nesbitt, G Reno, aka Hotleggs, the only guy with me, of course, in the history of street ball in Germany who was flying around, dunking on people, and pouring down rain, people. Yes, G Reno. What's happening, Coach? How you doing, brother?
What's going on? I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, bro. It's our pleasure. And yeah, man, let me just put that out there for all of our listeners. I'm really, really proud of this guy, man, because, you know, just like I did and just like many of the guys before us and many of the guys following us, you know, he came out of Ohio and came here to Germany, man, chasing a real professional basketball hoop dream. And he's done a beautiful job, man, of turning that dream into coaching, developing youth, taking a lot of programs from nothing to something. We'll get into that a little bit later. But let's talk about how the whole journey started, my guy. How did it all start for you, bro? Was it AAU or the big homie in Ohio told you, come on, let's go hoop? How did it all start?
More or less the big homie. You know, I had a friend, he was playing over here, Eric. And yeah, at the time I was just working in the kindergarten, teaching, you know, and he called me and said, don't you still want to play basketball? You know, and I said, I don't know. You know, and he said, well, come on over to Germany, and if you like it, you know, stay. So that's basically how it started, man. And I came over, and I came over to Hereford, as you know, and they was playing in the lower leagues, you know, and the manager just said, you know, yeah, we just gotta win.
Yeah.
As long as we win, you know, anything's possible, you know. So I just took it and ran with it, you know.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And he's being humble, ladies and gentlemen, because he did everything for that club. He was the agent, he was the American in the American slot, he developed their youth. He really, you know, he really did a whole hell of a lot for that club. He's just being humble right now. So let's fast forward a little bit. Let's talk about the street ball tournaments, because at that time, you know, we both had a lot of fun in dunk contests and street ball tournaments. They had the big 5-on-5 thing going, and let's talk a little bit about how much fun that was for you.
Yeah, that was different. You know, it's not like it is now. You know, now they just do the 3-on-3. You know, back then it was 5-on-5. You know, and that's where me and you met. You know,
Right.
So I cherish those days. And I had a friend. He was trying to organize a team for and one, and you know, he called me up and asked if I wanted to play some street ball in the summer. I said, yeah, sure. You know, I was over here the summer anyway, so I figured I might as well. You know, there's gonna be some good competition. That's all I needed to hear. You know, so and yeah, we was playing for and one. We traveled around, man, different cities. We went to almost every big city. They had the 3-point contest, the 5-on-5, the dunk contest. It was live. It was nice. You know, I liked it. Just being outside all day, playing like 5, 6, 7 games. You know, the guys I was playing with was great, just super athletes, just all around great guys, you know what I mean, from all over in America. So it was just a great opportunity for us as Americans, basketball players over here, to just kind of like a meeting spot, you know, to get together and, you know, shoot the shit, and then, you know, next day go out and play against each other and go hard, and, you know, just like you said, dunk and shoot and run. And yeah, man, it was a great time, man. I cherish those days. I really do. Really, I miss them.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So let's fast forward into coaching mode for a second. Please, let's just share with the listeners, because, you know, now we'll talk about your new opportunity that you have now, but, you know, the position that you're in now is a lot like the position that I'm in, where now as former professional basketball players, we are on the outside looking in at the new generation of ball players, and we already know what management expects of the American that's coming over here. And you as the head coach, you could share a little bit about what you expect. But I try to tell these guys, you can't just come to Germany, you know, without some form of resume in America and think that you're just going to come here and then Mr. Nesbitt is going to look at the highlights that you have. You put together, 30 minutes of highlights where you played great, but he can't see your body language. He can't see that you're not playing defense. He can't see that you're playing at he can see that you're playing at the YMCA against some guys that aren't very talented. But let's talk a little bit about what you expect from the Americans that would come over here and play in that slot.
Oh, well, actually, I'm gonna tell you, I'm kind of glad that this process is over, first of all, and that I finally, found a guy that kind of fits to my team. But it's like it's a long process, and what guys don't realize is that like you said, these highlight tapes, they only show highlights. So guys would send me highlight tapes, and I would tell them like, yo, if you can't send me a whole game, don't even think about it, because if I made a highlight tape, people would think I played in the NBA. Like,
right. Oh my God, a guy this size is dunking everything. Wait a minute, that's not Geno Nesbitt, that's Nate Robinson.
Who is this guy? Well, I've never heard of him. So it's like you gotta send the whole game. A real coach is gonna appreciate that. They want to see how you defend. How many minutes you played actually. They want to see if you, played with your team. I want to see everything. Like you said, the body language. I want to see everything. And that's going to tell you a lot more about a player than the highlights. Than the shots they made. The shots that they missed, how they reacted after those misses. If they got back on defense, they put their head down. All these things are important. That's what these guys don't realize. It's like I think in a few years back, maybe like 5 or 6 years back, when highlight tapes was first really like coming into, everybody started making them and this and that. It was cool to do and stuff, but I don't think any real coaches are gonna look at your highlights and say, "Oh man, let's get this guy." You know what I mean? So, unless you got some like Vince Carter type highlights.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Something that's
type highlights. Then you might get a call for a tryout, but even, like I said, even your highlight tapes is just going to get you that. It's going to get you a call for a tryout because they want to see you play. So why not just send the whole game from the beginning? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Thanks for sharing that with us, bro. Appreciate you. Jump on in there, Renee. Jump in, buddy. I know you got some great questions for my guy.
Yeah. Of course, it's interesting that we have someone who has been through all of that here, through all of the struggle. I mean, it was a lot different when you came first to Germany. I reckon like 15 or more years ago.
Deutschmark. Deutschmark.
Yeah. When did you came to Germany first? What year was that?
2000, October 2000.
Yeah, 20 years. And I think a lot has changed since then, how the whole basketball world works here. And I'm sure a lot of kids out there from Ohio or from anywhere else are listening right now. And what do you tell them if they have the dream to play basketball abroad? And what probably has changed since you came here?
Well, I think now it's a lot easier for guys to, make that step, because, the internet wasn't really as big.
Yeah.
Guys, especially not where I'm from, not everybody has a computer in the city where I'm from. Matter of fact, I think nobody on the block where I live had a computer, nothing like that. So now it's just everything's a lot easier. Guys can really look in the internet and do their homework and figure out like what type of workouts they should do, how to keep themselves in shape, So as far as that goes, I think it's a lot easier. And my message to all the kids, I would just tell them to keep working. Use all the utensils that you have now to make yourself a better player. Don't take any days off. As soon as you get the time, go put in the work. And when you put in the work, you're going to see the results. That's what, like, even when I first came over here, I wasn't satisfied. I didn't stop. I was in the gym in the morning. I was working out in the morning. I was going. Joe would tell you he probably was the same way. You got to keep working the craft. Don't be satisfied. It's like guys get here and they think, oh, I made it, and they lose that hunger. You have to keep that and just keep working. And that's what I tell, all my friends when they call me and ask me, oh, you coaching? I got a guy now, Geno. I'm like, yeah, well, what is he doing now? Oh, well, he's just out with his friends and hanging or dog. Like, well, he ain't working, he ain't in the gym. I don't want to talk to him,
Right.
So that's the mentality they got to have. You have to stay hungry and stay working, because it's somebody out there working on the day that you taking off. So
That's true.
that's what I always tell them. Just keep working.
So would you agree that, of course, for the young baller, it's easier to do, but for people like you, for coaches, for the whole staff, it's a lot harder because way more people show interest, and it's probably not so easy to tell who would be the best player for us to fit in.
I mean, for me as a player, I pretty much if you played before, you can tell.
That's a good thing.
You can look at a guy's work ethic. You can look at, you can really look at a guy and tell if they're going to fit, if they're going to make it. Some guys physically, they'll make it. Skill set wise, they'll make it. But mentally, they won't make it.
Because
change of culture and everything,
And also, it's a big change because they have to deal with the situation being off the court 20 hours a day and just finding their way into this new culture. And this is a big step. And I'm sure you agree with that. It was the same for you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's got easy to get caught up in the, I would say, the weekend party life that kind of, in Germany. But, if you got to kind of like be focused on why you really here. It was a time where it took me. I wasn't always like that. It took me a while to get used to it, to learn German. I have a daughter now. She kind of helped me along that road to kind of change some of the things that I was doing and be more focused. So it's a pretty hard step. I think the mental part of it is harder than the physical part.
Right.
Physical part we deal with at home all the time too. You know what I mean? But it's like mentally, it's like you in a place, you in a different world. Everybody's different. Everybody's talking different. Everybody's looking at you different. So you have to act different. You have to walk, talk, drink. Everything is just different. So
right.
I think that's a great takeaway for everyone because there's so many good ballers, kids in the USA. I mean, a lot of them because it's so deep in the culture to play basketball, American football probably, but there are so many kids age 15 to 20 who play basketball that good, and a lot of them, in terms of skill set, in terms of athleticism, they would have easily the chance to play here in Europe. But the mental thing, that's the thing, and I guess only a couple of them are really there to push through that thing and really make it over here.
Yeah,
that's what you should focus on.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks for sharing that with us, Geno. And let me add this too. I'm glad you brought up the work ethic thing because it's just like for me, at one time I didn't want to shoot. You know what I mean? I figured that I could just dunk my way to the NBA. I don't have to shoot free throws. I ain't got to shoot threes. You know what I mean? I ain't got to do nothing, man. And the thing is, but of course, once you get to certain levels, and that was something that I wanted to change. I said, okay, I'm in Europe. They playing a lot of zone. I can't just run through people. Guys are bigger. Guys are stronger. So, I really need to work on my shots. So it just got to the point where I was putting up like 1,000 shots per day. But what I really loved about your game, man, was that, for your size, man, you were really super athletic. So can we talk about that a little bit? That a lot of the Americans don't realize that basketball has changed. Now in the era that you're coaching in, you know it yourself. There's a lot of very, very good European basketball players. So if you're the American, you have to have something extra that stands out. Either you're like I was and you were, like super athletic, flying around dunking. And a lot of people aren't really flying around like that here. Or you're just a sharpshooter or your handle's just, just incredible and you're extremely quick. Let's talk about how the American really needs to have that separation from the locals in order for a guy like you and the club to pay them. I don't think guys get that.
Yeah, I mean, just for me, like I would talk about this guy that I just got. This guy Jordan. He's the exception to like every other player on my team in the league. I think, because he's a guy. He can get his own shot. He has tremendous range. He can pass the ball. He can defend. He's like an all-around type of guy, and like most guys think, like you said, like I can dribble. I'm a great dribbler. That's not enough. You can dribble, shoot. That's not enough either. You have to be able to be that all-around player. You like me for my size. I'm 179. I'm not even 180, but I can jump off one. I could jump off
flying, ladies and gentlemen. He's being humble. That guy was flying.
You have to be very, very versatile in everything that you're doing, And if I wasn't sure that I was you know, before I even came over, I had to think about it. Like, you know, this guy's over there that's really like getting paid. They've been getting paid for a while to do that, you know, and I want to go over there. So I basically had to make sure that every aspect of my game was like on point, you know. So guys, they don't be satisfied. You know, you have to be the exception, like you said, because it's a lot of European cats out here that can play ball. They like they like smart with it too. They smart with I'm not gonna say, you know, I mean that's the narrative. People say that European players are smarter and American players are more athletic, but it's like you got the whole package in players over here now. They get more athletic and they smarter and they got the skill set. I mean, look at here, Luca. Look at Luca.
Yeah,
Look at
my God.
out now. You know what I mean? These are like really good athletic players and they smart. So, I mean, you got to step up your game. You got to step it up now. You have to be that all-around player and bring something to the table that nobody else can do. You know what I mean?
Nice. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Add something to that, Renee. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Of course, I want to talk about you got your new or your coaching assignment now in Ibbenbueren, here in northern Germany. You already had games so far. I haven't checked it. Did the season already started? How did it go so far?
We played. We had a pretty good preseason.
Okay.
The guys, we had a very long preseason. We had like 6 weeks, you know, because. And I told, you know, the manager asked me, he said, you know, 6 weeks is kind of long. I said, well, you know, they just had Corona. Nobody was playing ball. Nobody's in shape. The first thing I put these guys in shape, you know. So we had a pretty intense athletic program for these guys. And I think in the preseason, we played 7 games. We went 6-1. We lost to my guy, Pat. You know, we lost to Itzehoe. They gave it to us pretty good at home for the last preseason game. But it got us ready for the season. You know, our first game was last weekend. We played in Rondorf. And, you know, everybody was telling me that these guys, you know, they want to go back into Pro B. It's going to be a good team. They got a lot of young guys that play in the Bundesliga. And, yeah, you know, it was a pretty good game. My guys started off great. And we finished great. You know, we had a great first quarter, great fourth quarter. So we started the game, we finished the game, came out with the W. And Jordan had a pretty good game. I let him sit out the first quarter just to kind of let him watch and see what he had to get into when he got into the game. What was on him. And when he got into the, you know, he did a pretty good job. You know, he was like 5 for 5, and he kind of like he was a little too. He wasn't used to the aggressive defense of the guys, so he kind of lost the ball a few times. But he, in all, was a pretty good first game for the whole team, especially to like win away. You know, because you know they had really problems winning away games last year. What I heard, you know, so. It's pretty good for the team's confidence to beat a team like that. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. You know, tomorrow we're playing against Wolfen. It's the first home game.
Nice.
The guys are also motivated. And it's been a great atmosphere the last, like, 2 weeks of athletics, because I think they were more or less happy that all the running was over. And they could finally we got more into the you know, in the gym, offense, defense, what we want to do, you know, and the physical part of it, which was pretty hard, it was over, you know. So
for sure.
But they see it. The guys see, you know, what they have from that. A lot of the guys are in better shape than they've ever been. That's what they told me. And I got a great assistant coach. He was the athletic trainer for a Bundesliga handball team. So we sit down, we talk almost every day, and we make sure that these guys are gonna, you know, not just get in shape, but stay in shape the whole season. So just to cut down on injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a pretty good season. You know, I think it's gonna be a nice.
That's an amazing start. Congratulations, coach.
Yeah, for real. Congratulations, man. And let me add this, man. I'm so happy for your American because, you know, I mean, we both know Pat Elsie's like, that's my guy and that's your guy. Like, and when you have an American coach like that, like shout out Ty McCoy and all the guys over here that are really doing a great job. Because the thing is, if that guy that you have now, Hill, if he gets homesick or if he has any form of a issue off the court, he can come and sit down and talk to a guy who's been through it, you know, and you can guide him through that storm, man. So kudos to you, man. That's beautiful, bro.
From my house, and I cook for him.
Nice.
And, I cook him some fried chicken or something, a home
nice.
You know, take him around, smack him in the head a few times, and get him back together. You know.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, and that's gonna make him play so much better, you know, because you know he can feel it. He can really feel it. Someone that's been through it, man. So it's. I always say, if you go to war, man, you know what I mean. Who can tell you better than a 5-star general that's been in the war before? He's gonna be able to lead you through it. So it's beautiful.
Yeah. He was in Brazil. He was in Brazil. That was his last team, and he told me about the situation. It was a pretty bad situation. You know,
yeah,
I
get it.
And see if Brazil was at war or something. You know, what he was telling me, I was like, man, this sounds pretty bad over there. So he's pretty happy right now. But I know it's going to come a time where he's you know, missing home and missing Cali,
for sure. Yeah,
some family and friends. You know, because I still get like that.
Of course.
You know, and I've been for 20 years, so.
Right, exactly.
I'll be there for him.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing. Anything you want to add, Renee?
You're 20 years in Germany now. You just said how your relationship towards your home and everything is, and now you got family. You said you got a daughter here in Germany. When I think that was when you came to Germany first in 2000. You probably didn't think about spending probably the rest of your life here, or most of it. When did that change, or how was that for you personally?
I think the day she was born, you know, honestly.
Beautiful.
You know, she'll be 11 in December, and when she came, you know, that was kind of like
2009.
Yeah, but the situation in Hanford was kind of like starting to go downhill, and I was thinking like, man, you know, I'm kind of done with this basketball. I never thought about, you know, playing on another team or even trying to play higher or doing anything like that. I was kind of satisfied, and I got kind of comfortable where I was at. But then, like, when she was born, you know, I just thought like, you know, man, you know, I got this little girl here now, and, you know, I can't be doing some of the stuff that I'm doing, and I got to just got to find a way, you know, to do other things, you know, to maybe, you know, use my knowledge or, you know, what I learned in school and try to like make a better way, you know, not necessarily, you know, I had no idea I would stay here that long. You know, it just worked out like that. You know, I got a pretty good job. I work at a school. I work with like handicapped kids. I love it. And basketball was actually, I actually stopped coaching, you know, for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then, you know, the manager in Ibbenbueren, he's just a good friend, you know, and he called me and he said, yeah, you know, what do you think? This and that, you know, so it just happened, you know, but I planned on staying when she was born, you know. I said I wasn't going to leave at least, you know, until she's 18, you know, until I know that she's a woman and she's able to take care of herself and, you know, physically and mentally, you know, she can take care of herself. So, yeah, that was basically it. And when she was born.
That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Salute to you, bro. And like I always tell a lot of my guys, man, who are chasing the pro hoop dream, it's bigger than basketball. Like, you know, that's what I mean. I saw you play, man. And believe me, you know, I always loved your game. And I'll never forget that day we were out there together flying around the ring, dunking over people in traffic. I'm taking that to my grave. But like
people
I say,
don't believe me when I tell them that. I tell them that, guys.
Exactly. That's why the world has to hear it.
Nobody, all these Americans out there who could dunk and could fly,
right.
I mean, I don't want to dunk. It was all scared. I was like,
exactly.
I played in the snow.
Exactly. And I'm from Cali, but I'm telling you, motivated me though. You was out there flying around, so I was like, hold on, man. I gotta do what Hotleggs do. but I wanted to say, man, is that you're really a testament to what an American ambassador of basketball is, man, because, you know, you played it here, you got paid to play it, you coach it, you develop the youth, man, and, you know, so salute to you, Hotleggs, real talk, man, and congratulations. Good luck with your new position, and I'll definitely come watch you guys ball, man, for sure. And let me add this too. You guys have a really good before COVID. my man Jeremy Lewis used to play there, and he told me, he said, man, he loves you guys fans. Like, you guys got a serious fan base. It's like, he said it's like 1,200 to 1,500 people coming. So, man, that's big time, bro.
Yeah. For first Regionalliga, that's great.
Sure.
And I mean, probably even get some fans from Ibbenbueren now after this record, if someone's listening. But it sounds like with all of your with everything that you learned on your journey, with all of your experience, there might be something really, really good growing there. And when you said you beat like one of the best teams in the league already, away game also, I mean, that's a great start. And we wish all of the team and you all the best for the rest of the season. And yeah, thanks for being here with us and sharing your story.
No problem. Anytime. The first time you asked me, I said, yeah, just call me, man. Anytime.
Yeah, we might invite you.
You
we might invite you again, like in the middle of the season, and just have a recap on what has happened so far. Probably you're the best team that by then, we hope. And yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
Wishful thinking. There's a lot of good teams in the league, you know, but we definitely want to have a good start. So.
All right.
Oh yeah, man. PMA, man. Positive mental attitude. And hey, man, thanks for coming, bro. We really appreciate you, dog. And you know, like I say, man, you always, it's bigger than basketball with me and you, man. You're a homie. And you're an ambassador of basketball as an American here in Germany, man. Appreciate you, dog, for sure. Salute. Salute, Hotleggs.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Not a
All
problem.
right.